So outrage is like a bouncing Betty. One minute you got Rush Limbaugh cornered, the next you're the one running for cover, which Hillary Rosen just found out.
What you have is Mitt Romney running around the country saying, well, you know, my wife tells me that what women really care about are economic issues. And when I listen to my wife, that's what I'm hearing. Guess what? His wife has actually never worked a day in her life.
Whoops. So what's next for Hillary, this so-called PR expert? Condemn the Salvation Army for ringing bells too loudly? Criticize nurses for only wearing white? That's racist. Shame puppies for being too adorable? What a disaster for the White House. You know, I bet a stay-at-home mom would know how to clean this mess up.
My career choice was to be a mother. And I think all of us need to know that we need to respect choices that women make. Other women make other choices to have a career and raise family, which I think Hillary Rosen has actually done herself. I respect that.
Nice. Now, you could go nuts over Rosen's diss on stay-at-home moms, but don't. Instead, be grateful when a lefty reveals its true self. It's like seeing a rare black-bellied whistling duck. Don't scare it away. Analyze it, because you rarely see them whistling this honestly. So what do we learn from Rosen? Well, that anyone apparently can be a PR expert. But also to folks like Rosen, Ann Romney is just a quaint, irrelevant non-entity whose non-feminist choices were never really her own. Seriously, why would you be a stay-at-home mom when you can mock them on CNN for money? A full-time mom is simply blind to her own subservience to patriarchy, which is why in the media hype over Sandra Fluck, fighting for free abortion pills beats raising children. They aren't kidding, literally. Rosen proves once again that when the left tries to run your life, they just undo their own. But her real screw-up was mocking Mitt for listening to his wife. Maybe she thinks Ann should just shut up and bake cookies. Hey, Dana.
Yeah.
So since I wrote that gem,
yes,
Hillary Rosen has since apologized. I think we have the apology up here, and I want to go to you and get your response. The apology, in this apology, she says, I apologize to Ann and anyone else who was offended. Let's declare peace in this, quote, phony war and go back to focusing on the substance. So you start a war, and then you say, let's end this. And it's phony, too. It's phony because you're upset. It's phony.
These are like the arguments I start with my husband.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, wait, no, yeah, right, okay, yeah. Moving on. So I know Hillary Rosen.
Yes.
Been friends with her for a while. We used to be neighbors.
Hope
I
you're
was
not anymore.
saddened. Well, I'm not neighbors because I moved to New York. Saddened when I heard the comments. Not entirely surprised, because if you are on the liberal side and you're looking at the context of which she said it, you would not necessarily be outraged. My stomach absolutely flipped when I saw it, and I emailed all you guys right away, and I said, holy cow, this is going to explode. I don't know why the apology didn't come a lot sooner, because now she's been distanced by the Axelrod and Messina at the White House.
Yeah.
Even Joe Biden just said what she said was outrageous. And she's had a day's worth of damage control after she doubled down with several tweets that I thought were also offensive, like,
they were funny.
I admire you, but.
Yes.
You know, it's just like, I think the whole thing is bizarre. But I'm glad if the phony war on women that they started is over, great, then we won.
Now we have a war on moms. Even better.
Right.
You know, I want to go to Carney. He was on, did a press conference today. They were trying, I guess the reporters were trying to find out how much Rosen interacted with the White House.
I haven't seen the records. I don't know that Hillary Rosen, I know three personally, women named Hillary Rosen, so I'm not sure that that those represent the person we're talking about necessarily. So I really can't comment on the number of visits since I'm not sure that's accurate.
Eric, I actually know 16 Hillary Rosens.
Well, can I just point out, Dana, immediately after you saw that tweet, you said, expect any minute now the White House is going to start distancing themselves from Hillary Rosen. First was Axelrod, now Carney. You're right on, spot on. Can I just point one thing out, and I'll move on and send it over there? It didn't only disrespect stay-home moms. It disrespected every American family that has a stay-home mom, including me. My wife stays at home. She cares for my son. She works harder than I do by 10, and I appreciate every
that's not
minute
much.
she does. That's true, but I still appreciate every minute. So it's a disrespect to me and anyone else who has a wife who stays home and takes care of her kids.
That was a bad analogy. A bad one.
Hey, Bob, did you watch, I mean, when they were talking to Carney today, it didn't seem like they disavowed what she said. They just didn't want to have anything to do with it.
I don't get Carney generally. I mean, I really don't. Danny and I were talking about this before the show. I mean, why you just don't say, it was a mistake, and distance yourself from it and walk away from it and say, let's move on. But, Hillary Rosen has had a history of saying things that are somewhat inappropriate. They call her a strategist. She ought to turn that label in and get herself another job, like maybe being finger painting or something. I think it's outrageous. But what I also find outrageous is conservatives, and by implication, your monologue, that suggests that this is something that the whole left believes in. That's just absolutely wrong. It is an isolated incident where, once again, conservatives take this and spread it out and say, all of the left is like this.
Yeah, no,
that's not true.
I agree with you, but, when I'm writing my monologue, I don't care.
I know. That's exactly my point.
So, Greg, I think this is good because Michelle Obama actually had a good tweet about this, to recognize the First Lady. Every mother works hard and every woman deserves to be respected. And I think that was the right approach to take, because you should have respect, for all mothers. Being a mother, whether you're a stay-at-home mom or you're a working mom, like myself, is a very tough job. And I think there's, great men, like at this table, that do appreciate the work and the thought process and the energy that goes into it, the dedication. And what Hillary Rosen said, what she did, and the way she has handled this was just really an abomination, I think, and disrespectful to all women.
My ex-wife stayed home all the time. I wish she hadn't. But outside of that, I mean...
Well, the thing she eventually got the picture.
But guys, she didn't apologize. She still hasn't apologized.
That wasn't even a nice apology.
It's a fake apology. But I go back to, if she's not sorry, don't apologize.
Right.
I'm tired of fake. I'm tired of fake apologies. I'm tired of fake outrage. I think she said something stupid, but she believes it. Don't apologize.
It's not sincere.
It's not sincere.
The thing is, remember that it was. I'll probably never be invited to another Georgetown cocktail party after this. The firm that she works with, SDK, is very close. Most of the people that work there are very close, including Anita Dunn, with the White House. They have a lot of clients that I'm sure probably want their PR advice on the merits, but also know that they're very close with the White House. This is, in some ways, an economic decision to protect yourself going forward so that you can not get kicked off the Georgetown cocktail circuit. But I guarantee that there's the D.C. Democratic establishment, if we could call them. They will circle around her. They will whisper behind her back, but they will make sure, we know you didn't mean that.
Yeah.
Of course you didn't.
I'm not so sure. I think she's not as if she's got a whole lot of deep well.
You don't think so?
No.
I thought so.
I think you'll see her thrown under the bus in a lot more ways than one.
That firm has
her
a lot
firm
of
got
pull.
120 or 130,000 bucks from the DNC. They've got an economic stake in this. I'll be curious to see how they deal with it. She just has a tendency. I mean, I happen to like her. I mean, she's a likable enough person, but she has a tendency to say things without thinking them through. Much like me, of course.
Well,
I have a reason. I was a drug addict. That's why I do it. She doesn't have that.
What she was saying was that Ann Romney should not be the one that you turn to understand what economics of what women go through. Ann Romney has never hidden the fact that she has had a lot, that they have wealth. But they've traveled the country, unlike some people who've only been in Washington, D.C., to see what moms go through. What their policy choices from the Romney and the conservative camp is, we want all women, all people to have more economic opportunity and more economic growth so that you can make a choice to stay home if you want to.
Very quickly, I think what she also did was she opened up the ability for conservatives who may not have gotten behind Mitt Romney and Ann Romney to get behind Mitt Romney and Ann Romney because they're outraged at what the left is doing to them.
It'll energize.
That's why she's really in trouble.
That is vastly overstated.
No, I got to say, you don't know. There are a lot of people that aren't interested in politics, stay-at-home moms perhaps, that now are. I want to ask Kimberly one question. President Obama felt terrible about what Rush did to Sandra Fluck, called her immediately because she was in danger of not getting her birth control pills. How could she go on in life?
Right.
Is he going to call Ann Romney because of this?
Of course not. It's the double standard. He would be inconsistent with his own, I would say, in many instances, hypocritical behavior if he did call. I mean, he should. That would be the right thing to do. That's why I pointed out what Michelle Obama did. She's actually showing more leadership than her husband has.
But why, to me, last night I was like, why is it Axelrod and Messina? Where's Valerie Jarrett?
They're on Twitter, which is hilarious.
Why don't we have Valerie Jarrett out, saying that those things were wrong? And I do believe that the women Like, look, the men are the ones that are established, that created the phony war on women in the first place.
Well, they're mad because they're not being paid as much as men.
You know, this story is much ado about. Next week, nobody's going to think about this story. I mean, I know we want to talk about it. It's a big deal, and you're all excited about it, but it's a nothing story.
She's been to the White House 35 times.
It is a big story.
The Rush Limbaugh, okay, when it was Rush, it's a huge story. When it's the reverse, it's not a big story.
So a lot of people in the mainstream media are like, oh, I can't believe it. People are outraged about this. This is crazy.
Yeah.
It is.
It's not crazy.
You rolled your eyes.
All right.
You rolled your eyes a little bit.
Yeah.
Eye roll.
Okay, coming up. Do feminists have a problem with stay-at-home moms? Or do stay-at-home moms have a problem with feminists? We report. Go in the kitchen and make me a sandwich. I like peanut butter. Also, don't forget to email us at the5@foxnews.com.
You like to wear
Tell your children not to walk my way.